We spend so much of our lives online, scrolling, clicking, sharing. But in that huge digital world, how much of what we do is, well, truly our own choice? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the illusion of autonomy and figure out how to take some of that control back. So let's just start with a really simple question. Think about everything you've done online today. Every single tap, every swipe, every click. And be honest. How many of those were 100% your idea?
I mean, you know the feeling, right? You're just minding your own business, scrolling through your feed, and then bam! You get this sudden urge to click on an ad, or buy something, or even just agree with a post. That little moment, that invisible push, that's what we're going to unpack. Now, that push isn't just a random feeling. It's part of a huge, invisible system designed to influence us. So let's start by putting a name to what we're actually talking about here.
This is what's known as internet manipulation. And just to be super clear, this stuff is not an accident. It's the very deliberate use of technology. Everything from the algorithms that decide what you see, to automated bots that can make a message go viral, all of it is designed to shape what we think and what we do online. So, how do they actually do it? How are these digital strings being pulled? Well, a lot of the time, it's baked right into the design of the apps and websites we use every single day. And that brings us to this really important idea: dark patterns. Now, these aren't bugs or glitches. They are intentionally confusing, deceptive design choices. They're built specifically to trick you into doing things you didn't mean to do, like signing up for a subscription or buying something extra. And here are some of the classics, straight from a Federal Trade Commission study. You ever try to cancel a subscription and it feels like you're trapped in an escape room? That's the Roach Motel. Or how about when you go to decline an offer and the button says something like, "No thanks, I enjoy paying full price." That's called confirm shaming. These are all designed to play on our psychology. What's really interesting is that people are starting to catch on. I mean, look at this comment from a regular person on a forum. They're openly wondering if a product selling out is real, or if it's just a company creating fake scarcity to build hype. It's a totally valid question. But here's where it gets serious. This isn't just about us getting tricked into buying stuff. When you take these same manipulative ideas and build them into systems that make a life or death decisions, the stakes get incredibly high. Just think about that for a second. The same kind of logic that recommends a movie on Netflix could be used to decide if you get a job interview or to predict if someone is likely to commit a crime in the future. And when the code is a secret and the outcome affects someone's entire life, well, the damage can be absolutely catastrophic. A really important investigation by ProPublica looked at one of these risk assessment tools used in courts across the US, and what they found was just a stunning pattern of errors. When the algorithm got it wrong, it wasn't wrong in the same way for everyone. The data was clear. Black defendants were almost twice as likely as white defendants to be wrongly flagged as being a higher risk of reoffending. And this wasn't because someone programmed the algorithm to be biased. It's because the algorithm learned from historical crime data, which was already full of decades of human bias. It just learned our patterns and repeated them. Okay, so hearing all of this, it's easy to think, well, we're all doomed. We're just trapped in these algorithmic filter bubbles. But is that actually true? The research might surprise you. It's such a popular idea, right? That the algorithms are just feeding us things we already agree with, creating these little echo chambers where we never see an opposing view. But when researchers dug into the data, a much, much more interesting picture emerged. And here it is. This is the big takeaway from a massive review of studies by the Reuters Institute at Oxford. After looking at pretty much all the available research, they found, and I'm quoting here, no support for the filter bubble hypothesis. So wait, what is going on then? Well, it turns out that for most of us, algorithms actually show us more diverse information than we'd find on our own. The real intense echo chambers, the research says they're pretty rare, and they're mostly created by a small number of people who actively choose to only see one point of view. It's self-selection, not just the algorithm. And honestly, that's kind of good news. It means we're not just helpless. We have agency. So what can we actually do about all this? Let's put together a toolkit for taking back our digital autonomy. Okay, one of the coolest and most effective strategies is called inoculation theory. You can also think of it as pre-bunking. It works just like a vaccine for your brain. By learning about the techniques of manipulation before you see them, you build up a kind of mental immunity, so they don't work on you anymore. And here's a super practical skill you can start using like right now. Say you see a photo online and it feels a bit off. Instead of just doing a reverse image search on the whole screenshot, try this trick. Crop the image first to get rid of any text or logos. It's a tiny step, but it makes the search way more accurate and helps you find out where that photo really came from.
Really, it all boils down to cultivating a habit of healthy skepticism. Always ask yourself, who posted this and what's their angle? Look for clues inside the content itself. See if you can find the same story anywhere else from a source you trust. And maybe most importantly, when you're talking to people, try to understand where they're coming from. A little bit of empathy goes a long, long way.
Look, at the end of the day, knowing about all these invisible nudges and dark patterns isn't about being scared of the internet. It's about being smarter. It's about becoming a more conscious, more critical, and more empowered user. So now that you can see the strings, the real question is, what are you going to do?